This is Whitney Nicely, and check out my shirt. Invest like a girl. Isn't that perfect? Yeah! Invest like a girl. I got lipstick on my teeth. April Crosley gave us these shirts at Private Money Profits this weekend, and I'm supporting the home team today with my Invest Like a Girl t-shirt. If you want one of these, April sent us the link so that you can order one, but I also think, well, I'm not going to spill the beans on that too much. So what I want to talk to you today about is how to close real estate deals like a lady. All right, because there's some confusion in the world about how real estate deals close. And I didn't realize there was this confusion until a couple weeks ago when I was trying to sell a crack house, which is a house where if you stand inside it, you can see outside through the cracks in the floors and the windows and the ceiling. I mean, it's cracked like an egg. Doesn't mean that they have something in it. I mean, the actual house is cracked. So I was trying to sell this crack house, and people kept offering, I was selling it for $2,500, and people basically kept saying, yeah, I got $2,500 in my pocket, so I'll just meet you at Taco Bell, and we'll just sign some paperwork and give you $2,500, and you'll give me the keys. That's not exactly how real estate works. At the very first piece of land I ever bought, I was at an auction. I was trained to be an auctioneer, and I was just kind of hanging out at auctions. So I was there, and I ended up kind of accidentally. I had no prep, I had no research, I had done nothing, but I ended up winning one of the auctions, one of the pieces that they were selling. I paid $1,200. I raised my hand. I agreed to pay $1,200 on this property. And then at the auction I was at, they added a 10% buyer's premium. And I did not understand that I didn't have to have $1,320 that day. Okay? When you buy stuff at auction, at the auctions I go to, the only thing you have to pay for that day is the buyer's premium. So I only needed a check for the 10% on top of what I agreed to pay for the property, which at a $1,200 bid price, 10% of that is $120, which makes my total purchase price on that property $1,320. And I was super stressed because at that time, this is the very first piece of property I ever bought. At that time, I was selling dump trucks, and I'd been selling cars. And so when we talk about real estate title, I kind of thought it was like a car title. You know, in a car title, there's the name who it's registered to on the front. You flip it over, and you can write John Doe or Jane Smith or whatever you want to on the back of it. Then they take the title down to the recorder's office, and it changes, and they get a title back in the mail in a couple days. And so I thought if I was paying $1,200, $1,300 for a piece of land, I could just, count out some Benjamins or write a little check for $1,300, and that day I'd get the title. I learned a lesson, and sometimes I feel like when I learn lessons, everybody learns lessons, but that's not always how it works. Because as I'm trying to sell this crack house in Georgia, people still think you bring a wad of money to closing and you get the title to the house. Over the years, I've figured out a couple different things, okay? And one thing I have figured out, and my title companies have helped me with this, because my title company, on the bottom of all their emails, it says, if the purchase price is over $2,000, you must bring a cashier's check to closing. And they're serious about that. But over the weekend, and so I felt like I had to teach all these people that were trying to buy my crack house that they couldn't just bring me a wad of hundreds or 20s and then I'd give them the title. Like, it's not like a car. When you get the title to the house, when you do a real estate closing, when you do a real estate deal, when you get the title to a real estate property, you go to a title company or an attorney's office, and they write up all the paperwork and file it with the county. And then if you're paying cash and getting the deed, then they'll mail you the deed in 6 to 8 weeks, just like on a car title. But you can't just close it at Taco Bell. Like, you could sell a car. If I was trying to sell my car, I could take the title and somebody could bring me the money and we could meet down at Taco Bell and do the deal there and, make some copies or take some pictures on our phone and be done. In real estate, you've got to go to the title company, or you've got to go to the attorney. You've got to go to the professional in your area. In Tennessee, we go to title companies, but some places go to attorneys. You've got to go and take your cashier's check, take your paperwork. A lot of times they want you to submit everything ahead of time. Even if you're paying cash, you need to give your title company or your attorney 7 to 10 days heads up that you want to close next Friday. Because they've got to go check the title, they've got to get title insurance, they've got to write up the paperwork, they might have to overnight some documents. Like, there's a lot that goes into changing the title and closing real estate deals that's not involved when you're selling cars. It can be simple. It's never easy. It can be simple, but there's just more to it. So this weekend we were at Private Money Profits, and April Crosley was teaching, and she is a brilliant real estate expert investor, and she borrows other people's money to flip her houses. She also borrows other people's money to buy and hold properties, houses and apartments. Okay, she's done tons of deals and never used a dime of her own money. She also talks about how you can use other people's money to flip properties, to buy them, how long it takes to control them, and whatever. But she told a story while we were there that I'm going to tell you because it goes along with getting the title and closing these deals like a lady. She had a lead on a property, and she went and talked to the people. It was the heirs of an estate, and he said, I'll sell you this property, just name me a price. And it was in a rough area of town. And she said, I'll give you 10 grand for it. And the heir, the son that his daddy had just left in this house, said, 10,000's a little low. Let me tell you what I got going on. The guy across the street has already offered me $25,000. And April was like, do the deal with them then. Totally, you're going to make more money. Do the deal with them. And this guy was like, well, I don't know how to do the paperwork, and I don't really want to have to go back and forth with them. You've probably got everything in a system right now, and it'd be easier for me if you would just cash me out like next week and we could sign everything right now, even though I know I'll be getting less money. And she was like, if you sell me this house for $10,000, you know I'm just going to go across the street and sell it to them for $25,000, right? And the guy was like, yeah, but you'll have to fool with them, and it may take them a while to get their money, and this house is full of stuff. They may want you to clean it out. I just want to be done with it. So April's like, all right, cool. So the next week she closes. She gives the guy 10 grand. Goes to the title company, gets everything done. It's all good. And she borrowed somebody else's $10,000. She didn't just take it out of her pocket. She borrowed somebody else's money from their IRA so that when they put the money back in, if she borrowed the money for a month, they would have made a lot of money and got a good return. And that's how she's able to borrow other people's money. Also, when we talk about borrowing other people's money, she doesn't just go meet these people that she borrows the money from at Taco Bell and they don't just write her a check. There's a process to this also. So when you're borrowing other people's money, you want to make sure that the money goes to the title or the attorney, and then it's divvied out to you so that it's all legal and the paperwork is in process and the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed and that you're filling out everything you need for the IRS and all this stuff. It's not just about going and getting a check from one of your buddies over a couple beers. That's not how we borrow other people's money to do real estate deals. All right. So April borrowed 10 grand and then got the keys to the property, went back to the house, closed. After she closed on it, she went back to the house, went across the street and told the neighbors, I'll sell y'all this house for 20 grand. And they were like, we thought we were going to buy it for 25. And she was like, I bought it and I'll cut you a deal on it. You can have it for 20 instead of 25. So they were like, okay, great. And because April is a professional, again, she was like, all right, great. I've got the contracts. I've got this. I've got that. They signed the contract. And then another week or two went by and they showed up to closing with $20,000 in 20s and hundreds. And it almost delayed the closing because I'm telling you, my title company would not accept cash like that because that's not how we close real estate deals. My title company says anything over $2,000 has to be in a cashier's check. But I reckon whichever title company April was using on this deal or whichever one she regularly uses, they were used to cash. And they closed that deal. She made $10,000 in less than a month without spending any of her own money. Her private money partner that had loaned her that initial $10,000 to do this deal and had loaned her the money for a month probably made $1,000 or $2,000 just for writing a check. And by the end of the month, it came back in as $12,000. I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know that even if you don't have $100,000 or $1 million, you can be a private money lender. You don't have to have a trust fund. You don't have to have a house paid off. You don't have to have anything. But you know, if you got your car paid off, you could borrow money against that. If you got your house paid off, you could borrow money against that. If you got an old IRA or a 401k from an old job you used to have a long time ago, you can use that money to fund real estate deals. You could be a transactional funder. You could be a flip funder. You could be a long-term funding partner. There's so many different ways to make money. And today on our mastermind call, one of the ladies said, well, how would we use private money to do lease option deals? Because, you know, my whole thing in First Deal Done Fast about lease options is that you don't need any money. You don't need any credit. You don't need anything. But I'm working in a $100,000, $150,000 market. It's more lenient. My sellers are more lenient for me not to put any money down and not to make any payments for 90 days. But if I was in a higher priced market where everything was, you know, 500,000 or 750, or if I was working in a luxury market, I would probably expect when I put a house under lease option or I got owner financing, I would probably expect to need 50 or 75,000 or 100,000 to put down on the property within maybe 30 days. But if I knew that I had a friend with 100 grand who would loan me that money for 3 to 6 months so I could put it down on the property, and then I knew that if I had this luxury house and I could put it out there and somebody would pay me 150 or 200,000 as a non-refundable option fee, as a regular lease option, just like what I teach in First Deal Done Fast, then I need that private money partner to put my initial payment down on the property. You see how this works? Private money works. It works in lease options. It works if I was getting a house under lease option and the house needed $20,000 worth of work, I could borrow $20,000 from a private money partner to do the lipstick on a pig or the little bit of a flip that the property needs, and then I can have somebody give me $30 or $40 or $50,000 in a non-refundable option fee. I use the first 20 of it to pay off my private money partner, and then the other part of it would just be mine. Every once in a while, you get a lease option that needs a little bit of flipping. It needs a little bit of a lipstick on a pig, or like April calls it, it's a cupcake. It just needs a little bit of work before it's beautiful. So even in my world for lease options, private money can equal big profits. So over the weekend, April and I came up to North Carolina. We taught private money profits, and in just about 20 minutes, we are going to be doing a live Q&A on Facebook to cover everything, or to kind of decompress everything that happened and everything that's going to be happening with Private Money Profits. So be sure to check that out, or if you're watching this on a replay, that video conversation of us should be down below, or it may be in the next email, or it may be on the next page. You may have to click over. I don't really know if you're watching on the replay, but that interview is around and it will be heading towards you shortly. Private Money Profits is going to change your whole world, your whole investing strategy. Whether you've been investing for a while and you just need a refresher, you need to get a little bit more creative, you need to, figure out how to be more competitive in a hot market, Private Money Profits can totally change your bottom line. All right. If you're new and you're in one of those really hot markets where you can't get anything accepted and you need money in your pocket to be able to do anything, Private Money Profits is going to be able to help you get these deals done. So Private Money Profits is for the beginner, it's for the experienced, and for everybody in between. PrivateMoneyProfits.pro is where you can go to find out more. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Send me a message, send me an email, info@WhitneyNicely.com. And be sure to check out mine and April's video coming up shortly. All right. But real estate deals, you can close them like a lady. You can close them without any money out of your pocket. And remember, you don't actually take cash to real estate closings. Don't make the same mistake I did. Don't be uninformed like I was before I went through Private Money Profits, because I'm telling y'all, even right here, right now, today, I have never borrowed anybody else's money to do any of my real estate deals. And that's why I love partnering with April Crosley, because she is the expert. She's absolutely brilliant at finding money and flipping houses. She's amazing. Absolutely amazing. I cannot say enough about her. And she's got these really awesome t-shirts that say "Invest Like a Girl." All right. Y'all let me know if you have any questions, and I will see you in Private Money Profits. Bye, y'all.